tell them I'm the truth, I think they knew it. Don't like to talk about the shit, I like to do it. So while these other hungry going through it, you see me thumbing through these hundreds, getting to it. Ain't had to tell them I'm the truth, I think they knew it. Don't like to talk about that shit, I like to do it. So while these other hungry going through it, you see me thumbing through these hundreds, getting to it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the MorEstate podcast. Y'all are failing, though, on giving us other ideas. So I think we have unconsciously made the decision that that's going to be the name, the MorEstate podcast. If you don't like it, it's on you. You didn't vote. You didn't comment. So you, the public, have been overruled, and we've decided this is the name.
Yes, I'm More. He's the state. You know, it's just what it is. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another fun-filled, informative session of the MorEstate podcast.
Before we get into this, there's something that I have to get off my chest because something that like I've been experiencing, and we haven't talked about this.
Pocket square envy?
Outside of pocket square envy,
okay,
which my shirt has no pockets, by the way. You know how some button-downs have a pocket. This one.
I'm very happy you chose the pocketless dress shirt. But continue. You were saying?
Yeah, well.
Get it off your chest. What you got?
Listen, realtors who are rude, disrespectful, and assholes. I think that's the first time we've cursed on this show. I'm not trying to make it a habit, but this is what I mean by this, right? We're in the same industry, right? But we're like industry adjacent, right? We need mortgage bankers, mortgage brokers. Mortgage brokers need agents to bring them, to be a feeder of clients, right?
That's a fair assessment. Yeah.
Right. So why are there so many agents out there who are rude, not only just to other agents, but to their clients? I heard a story recently that an agent that I know has a history of cursing out clients.
You can do that?
I didn't know you. Like, what world are we living in? We're in a service-based industry. It's like professional wrestling, right? And for those of you that are into professional wrestling or not into professional wrestling, just stay with me on this.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, acknowledge me. Shout out to Roman Reigns.
Absolutely.
Hopefully he watches this. I don't know. Probably not. But if he does, I acknowledge you. Anyways.
We the ones?
The ones.
So you're not a fan of Cody? You're not a little nightmare?
I'm not a crybaby. And I'm going to leave it at that. But
copy.
Getting back to the point though, it is crazy to me that there are agents who behave this way, because real estate agents already have some bad, what's the word I'm looking for? Real estate agents already have bad perceptions by the public, in the sense of all real estate agents are door openers. Real estate agents, they don't earn their commission. Real estate agents are indispensable. I would argue disrespectful and unprofessional real estate agents are dispensable. They are no better than being door openers. Like, the less of those in the industry, the better.
For me at least, one of the benefits of being a mortgage banker was that I get to work with people that I like. For me, the partners that I partner with, I could do life with. Like, ideally, you and I are partners and we're doing this podcast and we can go enjoy like an adult beverage. We can hang out. Like, ultimately it's not a W-2 job, but that's one of the things I love about our job. I get to work with people that I actually like. So if you don't like the people, perhaps a different line of work, but whatever.
Right. Well, also, like, listen, if you don't like people and like you're unhappy, go do something else. Why do you got to take out your whatever you're going through on other agents and your clients? Like, this is a client. You're in a service-based industry. Don't be an asshole. And anybody out there watching who is considering buying a home, who's working with an agent or has dealt with an agent or currently working with an agent that you're not vibing with, reach out to me. Happy to show you what a real professional agent is supposed to look and act like.
So this was a plug. The whole time.
No, this was not a plug. I mean,
it feels like a plug, bro.
No,
but it was a good finesse though. I like it.
Well, listen, I
but you're a good dude, man.
I'm always hustling.
You articulate very well. You're very knowledgeable. So I get it. So if your agent is whack, Harvey is the truth.
And adversely, if you're dealing with somebody with your mortgage that they just cannot get it right, they're fumbling the ball. My dude over here, Megatron, in the industry right here.
Hands.
Numero uno. Acknowledge him. I acknowledge. That's a WWE reference.
Oh, wow.
Anyways.
Wow. This is turning into the nerdy real estate mortgage podcast.
We just lost.
Are we going to just like whip out?
50% of our audience.
Are we going to start talking about Marvel now too? Or?
No, never.
Oh, okay.
Never.
So
I draw the line.
You're a DC fan? Is that what you're saying?
I draw the line at WWE as the window into the 10-year-old boy that lives inside me. Marvel, DC, I don't know what you're talking about. I draw the line at WWE.
Okay, sounds good.
But let's also draw the line into why we're here today, right. Especially those of you out there wanting to, get more insider information on real estate and mortgage. We're now talking to you, all the other WWE and all the other nerds out there. Please bear with us. We're gonna do our job now. But forced appreciation, recasting, assumable mortgages. I'm sure a lot of people out there have heard these terms thrown out there in the interwebs and on social media, but I wanted to dive deeper, and I think you are the person to really kind of not nerd out, but give some insight, because this is what you do day to day. But let's start from square one. Forced appreciation. What is it? What's the benefit? And why should people care?
Sure. So a great example of a forced appreciation. You have a home that you purchase, and it's a fixer-upper. It's move in, but there are some things. Maybe the bathroom needs to be remodeled. Maybe the kitchen is 20 years old. Perhaps it has carpet. There are a few other things that Harvey could certainly talk to you about on things that really help the appreciated value on a home. What forced appreciation is you take those items, the kitchen, the bathroom, switching from carpet to hardwoods and those other things, and you fix those things yourself, perhaps with a contractor's help. So let's just say that initial home, that fixer-upper that you bought is $250,000, right? And due to those items that you fixed, or whatever they might be, your home in, let's say, 2 years, now that you've done those things, instead of it being worth $250,000 with additional appreciation, maybe the home is worth $300,000. And then you have the ability to then go and maybe you sell that home, or it becomes an investment property. Well, let's just assume you sell it. And so then now you have that $50,000 of appreciation. Now, I don't know what your costs would have been for whatever those things are, but you go from, in 2 years, you have $50,000+ in appreciation. So ideally what you could do, you could work that system on several homes and then get to a point where maybe on a house, I don't know, 5 or 6, maybe you're in a situation where the house is perhaps paid for. If you're thinking that you're netting, let's say $30,000, $50,000 on each house, 5 houses times $50,000 is, $250,000, or maybe it's more than that. But it's a great way to get the home of your dreams. The first house I had wasn't really all that spectacular, nothing really to write home about. But now I have a nice house because 3 homes later, after doing this forced appreciation model, I've taken proceeds and then more proceeds and then more proceeds. And so now on house 3, I have a nice house now that I may not have been able to afford prior to that. So as a person, if you're like, hey, I really want to get into a home, but maybe, budget doesn't allow me to have the $500,000 home, look into some forced appreciation.
Yeah, forced appreciation is exactly to your point, a great way to build equity in your home when you're thinking about short-term and long-term investing, really. My only add-on to that would be just be careful in the way that you make your updates. Don't be too custom, because if you get too custom, you get too particular, you're narrowing your audience. You're narrowing your opportunity for buyers when you go to collect on that appreciation. Now, obviously, that is, I'm a realtor, right? So obviously my goal, my idea is to reach and appeal to the most broadest amount of audience as possible, but do what's best for you. But realtors kind of like injection there would be, don't be too customized in the enhancements that you make, because you do narrow your opportunity of reselling that property that you want to collect your appreciation or your equity in. So
don't build a donut. Got it.
Unless you're Apple, then please, because it looks really cool. You know that Cupertino, it looks like like a Krispy Kreme glazed donut.
Just a little bit.
or a spaceship that's landed and can't get up anymore. It's like the engines have like died. Anyways.
So you're saying Krispy Kreme over Dunkin' Donuts? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, all day.
Okay. Good to know.
All day. Recasting and assumable mortgages. Let's kind of break this off, because I want to start with assumable mortgages. And this is why. You hear a lot of that on social media, and I cringe. I cringe because they're not getting into the nuts and bolts. And that's what I want to do right here, right now with assumable mortgages, because people aren't realizing how expensive typically they are. Because yes, you can assume someone's mortgage and get a rate that was around in 2020, 2021, 3.5, 3%, 2.85%. But guess what? You also have to pay the equity, the appreciation value on top of that. For a lot of people, they don't have that kind of cash on hand, and doesn't make financial sense.
So here's a recent example. Had a client where the assumable mortgage was something they wanted to take advantage of, and the current owner of the house had a rate, had a 2.875 interest rate. So it was really attractive to the client. They're like, hey, I really would love to have a rate like that. But here's the issue that I don't think the media at large is giving you the full picture here. So in this case, the people's home had appreciated approximately about, I think it was maybe like $80,000. So there, what I mean by that, so there's a difference of about $80,000 between what the home would appraise for and what they actually owe. So in that case, the customer had to come, you as the new customer have to come up with that difference. So you get the 2.875 interest rate, but there's this $80,000 gap. So what the customer ended up doing, we have a HELOC partner that'll give you a second mortgage. Now keep in mind, y'all, you are dealing mostly with whoever the current owner of the property's mortgage company is, because they're the one that are doing the assumable. So you're going to still have them as a servicer. But we were able to partner with one of our second mortgage partners, get them a second mortgage that went up to 89% of the value. So the customer had to, in essence, come up with like 10%. And they were able to get the home at that 2.875 rate with putting about 10% down. So I think it was definitely a win-win. But I think the key to assumables is realizing that there's likely a gap, and you as the new homeowner have to come up with that gap.
So, moral of the story, research assumable mortgages. And not all lending institutions will allow you to do that, no?
So the other key to that is most of your government loans are going to be the ones that will do an assumable. Conventional loans are not eligible to be assumed. Most VA and FHA loans are. Keep in mind, if you're going to assume a VA loan, you have to also be a veteran. So they won't let you. So, but FHA and VA will definitely let you do them.
The devil's in the details.
What you said.
Yeah. So let's move on to recasting. Now, recasting can be a great way for borrowers to lower the monthly payment. But let's get into the details of recasting, what it is, and the benefit in totality for a consumer.
Sure. And when I see the most recasts, usually it's two different situations. Either A, somebody is coming into a significant sum of money because of, say, an inheritance or something like that. So they want to do that. Secondly, let's say you have a home and perhaps it's not sold already, but you have the resources to purchase a new home. Case in point, maybe you're this couple and you already own a home, and then you're gonna marry your amazing life partner, and you all have the financial wherewithal to buy a new house, and you still need to sell your house. So you now sold your house 3 months later, and you're like, wow, I have $100,000 in net proceeds, and you're like, what do I do with that money? Maybe you talk to a financial advisor, and you decide, hey, I'm gonna take $50,000, $70,000 of those proceeds, and I'm going to recast my mortgage. So again, that's a conversation where you're picking up the phone and you're calling me or whomever your mortgage person was and say, hey, I have this have X amount of money that I'd like to apply to my mortgage right now, and I would like my payment adjusted accordingly. So in essence, it's not quite a refinance. It's not quite a refinance, but in essence, we're taking, let's just say, just to put some numbers to it, instead of your balance being now $300,000, you're financing $220,000. So we would look at how much more time do you have left on the loan, and then we would just sort of switch the numbers out if that makes sense. So if you're at you buy a $300,000 home at 6.5%, we would then, when we do the recast, $220,000 is now the new loan balance at that 6.5% interest rate.
Yeah. So just the balance drops, not the interest rate is consistent. There's no fluctuation.
Correct.
You can't be like, oh, well, current rates are, 6.5%. So now we're going to lower your principal, but also now we're going to also adjust the interest rate. The interest rate is constant.
Interest rate stays the same. Amount of years left on the mortgage stays the same as well. So that's all the same.
All right. So moral of today's episode, one, if you're dealing with a horrible agent, make a change. That's very Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror.
I was thinking the same thing.
Force appreciation. It's a great tool, but be careful in what you do to force the appreciation of your home. Don't be too customizable, because it may narrow your opportunity for reselling and recouping your equity. Assumable mortgages and recasting. Be thorough and really understand the overall benefits. Assumable mortgages, there is a hefty price you could pay if you're filling that gap, as you said, between the value and the equity balance, because obviously the person selling wants to get their appreciation value out of it. And then recasting, just making sure that if that is something that you do, that the interest rate doesn't change. That stays consistent. Right. The amount of months or terms left on the loan stays consistent.
Right.
But the principal balance would be lowered, and then that obviously would adjust your monthly payments.
Right.
No. Anything else you want to add to that?
No. Happy to chat with if people have additional questions on what that may look like. Certainly happy to have those conversations. But keep in mind, with the assumables, in addition to the recasting, you are having those conversations with whoever your current mortgage servicer is. So whoever you're paying the money to, these are the institutions that would process those changes for you.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we put a bow on this gift-wrapped episode of Force Appreciation, Assumable Mortgages, and Recasting. You can obviously find me at Harvey Wurlitz on Instagram. You can find Brian at...
We're still rocking with the Mortgage Pilot.
The Mortgage Pilot.
Yes.
The man flying in the skies of the obscurities of mortgages and loans to land safely on the runway of insight, information, and clarity. Mr. Mortgage Pilot right here, Brian Moorman.
What Harvey said.
What I said.
Yes.
What I also say is thanks so much for watching. We will see you guys on the next one.
Hey, y'all. Again, thanks for tuning in, and I appreciate you guys bearing with our nerdy shenanigans, but be good, y'all. Reach out to us if you have questions.
And don't forget,
thank you for watching.
Acknowledge us.
Take care, y'all.
Yeah.